Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming up this week, a new report sheds light on the tragic accident that took the life of a Richard Petty driving instructor. Disney settles a reverse discrimination lawsuit, and Force Friday is coming to a store near you this week. We'll have details. And a little later on, Craig Williams is going to tell us about his Adventures by Disney trip through Central Europe. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 848 for the week of September 1st, 2015. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends, John Magi.
Hi, everybody.
Kevin Close.
Hello.
Dustin West.
I'm okay being here.
Corey Martin.
I'm just happy to be here.
And back in the production nook, Rhino Clavin.
Hello.
Along with associate producer, Gregory Williams.
Hi.
And hello, everyone. Welcome. And
Corey's still laughing at himself.
Corey cracks himself up.
I swear I do.
He's an audience of one. So a couple things in housekeeping. First, I want to send out our heartfelt congratulations to the team out in Indianapolis for raising more than $15,000 this past weekend.
Congratulations, guys.
For Give Kids the World. It was incredible, and I was not there. And I talked to Aaron the week before and explained to him that I have come to the point where I need to, for myself, I need to scale back on my travel. I needed a break. That's all there is to it, and I needed a break. Also, I'm not going to be at the New England meet in a couple of weeks for that same reason. But we are, I know John and Kevin, Rhino, Teresa, and I think a couple other members of the team are going to be up there for that meet. They will be doing a show, so you will have a show at that meet. But, of course, that meet comes up the week of September 16th, I believe it is. The weekend.
18th.
The 18th.
18th.
Well, it's getting close.
Yeah.
Very close.
So, all right. Also, the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged every Sunday night live on Mixlr.com, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. Shows go up on iTunes Monday and Tuesday. On this week's edition, listeners Tyler and Brittany return for more trip planning advice, and Tony Spatel reviews the counter-service breakfast options at the 3 Disneyland Resort hotels. So that's already up on iTunes for you to check out. If you want to listen to it on the web, dizunplugged.com, or you can subscribe to them on iTunes. Links to all of that, how to subscribe, our YouTube channel, our show notes, everything you'll ever want to know about our show, dizunplugged.com. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, The Trip with Jenny Lynn Knopp and Teresa Eccles. And what are they doing this week?
This week we are going to be talking about the Skeletons exhibit, Animals, I forget what it's called. It's Animal Skeletons over at iDrive 360.
You guys have run out of stuff, haven't you? Orlando's spent. There's nothing left in Orlando to look at.
We had a lot of interesting experiences over the last weekend, and this was one of them. And I'll give you my opinions when you see the show, but it's an interesting skeleton exhibit.
The following week, they go and look at Roadkill.
All right, that's coming up this Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, dizunplugged.com. And, of course, Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on dizunplugged.com. Craig Williams, Jenny Lynn Knopp, Dustin West, and Rhino Clavin, the Universal Edition of the Diz Unplugged. And what do you have for us this week, Gregory?
I'm hoping that we can do the email show that got postponed.
Wow.
We're off to a good start today.
It's a posthumous email show?
It's a posthumous, because I learned posthumous isn't a word.
Yeah. He said that.
It was a wink.
He said that on the
Audio
show.
didn't get it.
Jenny Lynn had car trouble, so I sat in on a show. and he was talking about posthumous, something posthumous. I'm like, what is he talking about? I'm like, what is posthumous? I'm like, do you mean posthumous?
I'm a fanatic.
Posthumous is an word, and I thought, no, it really is.
More of a word than posthumous.
I like to do things phonetically.
Maybe you
so.
meant post-hummus.
That sounds delicious.
Got a lot of
Yes, the
post-hummus.
after hummus experience.
After you
Yes.
eat Mediterranean food.
So yeah, we're hopefully doing an email show as long as no more news already comes up. They already announced that Cabana Bay's adding more hotel rooms, so I'm
Yeah,
sure
600 more rooms, yeah?
What's that?
Was it like 600 more rooms?
400.
400?
400. So yeah, they'll probably announce 6 other things and a second water park and all that before Thursday. And
I'm telling you.
plans.
Within 18 months, expect them to announce a third gate. It's the only possible response now to what Disney announced at D23. It's the only thing they can
I'm
do.
excited about this stuff at D23. However, I expect to be 75 before any of it's open.
You know, well, I think the fact that they're not announcing a date for when Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land are going to open,
How long ago was
I think that is
Avatar
very
announced?
telling. Well, it's been, I think I was 16 when they announced that.
I think Walt announced
That, but there was again, this is Disney dealing with an intellectual property they don't own. There was issues with James Cameron. There were issues with that stuff that postponed it. So, you know, they don't have that excuse with Star Wars and Toy Story. They own those properties. So there's no licensing for them to go through. There's no legal hurdles for them to go through. So,
Let's just
technically
hope they don't have to
speaking,
build a parking garage to go with it.
well, exactly. With that being said, though, I was just at Downtown Disney on Friday, and I just love how it's starting to look. I really do. It's looking great.
It's going to become a destination. It was already, but it's going to become a real true
it's
destination.
entirely different than anything it's been before. I'm very, very excited with what I'm seeing. And, you know, then again, we were there at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And so parking was very easy.
Less
and
crowds.
There were no crowds. And it was very nice to kind of walk through Downtown Disney and not.
Now I haven't been there in a very long time. I miss the opportunity to park near where I want to go.
Right. It
That'll
used to
change
be,
when the other garage opens. But
yeah. It used to be that you could just park right in front of the store that you wanted to. Now you have one major option.
Yeah,
But
we had to park at the parking garage and walk back to Marketplace. So, but it was worth it to get my hands on Disney Infinity 3.0. And if you haven't checked out the show that we did Friday, it's on YouTube now. It's also available for download on iTunes. I've been playing Infinity all weekend, and they nailed it.
People really loved that show. There's a lot of talk on the boards. There was a lot of chatter on Twitter. People really enjoyed.
We had a
doing
good
that
time.
show.
We had a good until Craig ruined it.
Well, that's usually the case with every show.
And let's not bring up the reason why we ruined it, because then
Yeah.
we'll have to delete this show too.
Yeah.
Was it posthumous?
No, I wish it was. I wish it was posthumous. But yeah, Infinity, folks, I'm sorry, I'm going to drive you nuts with this. Go and buy Infinity. Go and if you need to get a PS4 or an Xbox One or a PS3 or an Xbox 360 or a Wii U to play it, go get one. It's worth it. It's worth it.
This
It is
needs
so
a bazinga.
much
I'm
fun.
sorry.
Do you think he's spelling in front of you?
It is so much fun, and it is I'm loving it because it's a game I can play. Because so many of the games that come out now are like, what? I'm not doing that. You have to like hop with one foot and hold the controller a certain way to like shoot somebody, and this is just it's just great fun, and it's something that spans all age groups, adults and children, and it's 2-player, so in at least one mode it's 2-player, so you can play with your kids, and there can be that experience. It's great. Just go buy Infinity 3.0. I can't say enough good things about it. They really did. They fixed everything that was wrong with the previous 2 versions.
Yeah.
So that's it for me for housekeeping. You guys have anything?
I want to thank everybody for their well wishes. I'm sure you heard from the last show that I hurt my back when we were on our last Adventures by Disney trip and had to cut it early, and everybody was very, very nice.
Refuses to go to a doctor.
And
So give him crap about that.
sent me very nice emails and very nice tweets, and I thank you very much. I am feeling better. Thank you, thank you.
I would like to thank Disney and Adventures by Disney for making this so easy for us. It was kind of, we had to leave in the middle of things.
Yeah. But did you enjoy what little time you had in Ireland?
We did.
Well, we actually went in a couple days early, so we were in Dublin for 5 nights, and it was lovely. And the hotel is right across from Temple Bar, which is one of the biggest tourist attractions. It's like Dublin's version of City Walk, I guess, is how I would describe it. And we had found a restaurant. We went out looking for some place to go for dinner, and found a restaurant that we absolutely loved. And it wasn't until we got back to the hotel that we realized it was one of the most recommended restaurants in Dublin. So we ate there a couple times. It was really good.
The hotel was right across from a casino. And it was actually okay. It was
Take the word casino out of your head.
right. It was mostly machines.
It was somebody's
and
basement with slot machines.
slot machines and very sad people.
Go ahead, tell them the story.
But the story was, we were sitting there. It was the last night. We had packed. We were ready to go. We were leaving the next morning on the plane. So we had a couple hours to kill. We didn't want to just hang out in the hotel room. And I'm talking about right across the street, like from here to your neighbor's house across the street. So we get there. We're playing. And first this guy comes around with a tray of beer in Dixie cups and offers everybody a beer. So, of course, no, thank you. We don't drink. Thank you. Then this little girl comes around with a tray of, think
Like
of
cellophane bags, like wax paper
like maybe
bags.
go to Starbucks and they put a sandwich in, and she said ham and cheese sandwiches in the casino. And Kevin says, yes, sure, I'd love one.
I didn't say a word. She handed it to me, and I wasn't thinking, and I just took it. And it was warm, and I don't know what, I was involved in my slot machine.
He was eating it, and I had to slap it out of his hand. What are you doing? You are going to get sick on the ride
This is a
home.
place where you stuck to the rug.
I can't believe you ate a ham and cheese sandwich at the casino.
Better than egg
my
salad.
Could have been.
Oh
My God, it's so good.
You can't really use the word casino.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you had to cut it short, and I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better.
Thank you.
So, anything else for housekeeping? Anything else? Anyone?
Nay.
Anyone?
I do want to say one more thing. We're gonna have some news coming out about Dizapalooza. People have been asking me over and over again for more details. We're gonna have more details coming up in the next couple of weeks. Sit tight. Don't worry. Everything's being worked out.
Can we at least let people know what's going on with the show?
The only thing I have a problem with is we haven't signed anything yet. But if you want to leak a surprise, I'm all for it.
Well, I met with Universal yesterday, and looks like we are going to be doing a live show inside Islands of Adventure the afternoon of December 6th, which is the day after
The party.
the party. And it's going to be one for the record books.
We're going to do it on the Hulk, aren't we?
We are. We are. And no, they actually have a venue right there in Toon Lagoon. And we're going to be doing it there.
That's a big venue.
It's a big venue. And we have some great surprises. And it is also going to be the show where we do our favorite things. And so
Did you not watch Oprah?
so doesn't watch any of our shows
I was
apparently.
just gonna say.
I think you would have done a little research.
Did you ever watch Oprah at Christmas time?
Yeah,
So you know what favorite things is.
Okay.
Extrapolate it out, Rhino.
I didn't know that's what it was called.
Explain that to Craig.
Craig Oprah
knows.
was a
So
talk show host.
that's I'm very excited about it.
Very
I'm very
excited.
excited. We've actually started. We are already working on that show to give you an idea that we are planning some things we don't normally. No, I shouldn't say that. Things we have never done before on a show, and there's gonna be some great surprises. So I need everybody to just kind of keep that Sunday, December 6th.
You guys are working on
We're
a
gonna
musical
dance.
number, yeah.
We are.
Bollywood. I want to say a few
Unitards.
things before people start writing and asking and posting on the boards. It will be in Universal, so a ticket will be required. We are working on that, making sure everybody has a ticket. People are going to be curious if they can get from a Disney resort to the show. Yes, we're going to work on transportation for you for that. And also, we will open it up to folks who can't attend the party. They can attend the show.
Correct.
We will have more space in the venue than we maxed out the party, so that'll be an option for you as well. Please sit tight, wait for the details to come. I
I
promise
just want to
it'll
make
all
sure
work
everybody
out.
marks it on their calendar because it's going to be.
Great.
Trust me when I tell you, we are working on some really, really cool stuff, some really fun stuff.
I think I already know what my favorite thing is.
So, all right. If that's it for housekeeping, we're going to move on to the news. John.
All right, our first news story. Police report that the car's direction contributed to Disney World track instructor's death. The Florida Highway Patrol has released its findings on the April crash at the Disney World Speedway track that claimed a track instructor's life. And it confirms what many suspected, that running the course in the opposite direction of how it was designed to run is what led to the car getting impaled by a guardrail. Driving instructor Gary Terry, 36, who worked at the Richard Petty Driving Experience, which ran at the track, was killed riding in a Lamborghini driven by a student that spun out and into a guardrail. Florida Highway Patrol has reported, quote, Terry's car would not have been exposed to the guardrail's end had the exotic driving experience run its car counterclockwise, according to a recent released FHP investigation. It's not known why the event ran their track days clockwise. No charges were filed against the driver. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration is still investigating. Sad.
It is, and there were a number of things. He was traveling too fast around the turn, which the student was, which also contributed to why it.
And the teacher has the ability to kind of knock the power down in the car. I do remember when I did the Ferrari, he said, look, I'm just going to, open it up to you, and if I see that you're not doing so good, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. So he has an option to do that, and I did find it was weird going the other direction, going clockwise.
So when you did it, they did the same thing. They went in the opposite direction.
Yeah. They've been doing that since they started. Now, the Richard Petty driving experience, they go how they should go, counterclockwise around the track.
All left turns. The thing is that it's built as a NASCAR track. NASCAR only makes left turns. They go counterclockwise. And what happens is you have these exit points with guardrails that will take you into like the pit and stuff like that. And the way they're built is that they gradually come in, and then they have a stopping point, which if you're going to the left, there's no risk of hitting that at all because it's all gradual. Versus going the other way, it's very sudden. There's the guardrail, and then it gradually goes away. So instead of hitting a soft curved guardrail, you're hitting just the end of the guardrail.
So the question still remains, why run that particular track?
There must have been a reason for it.
They did the same thing for me when I did the ride along, and they ran it clockwise as well.
Or counterclockwise.
No, clockwise.
Clockwise,
yeah.
And I think it has something to do with the inner portion of the course.
And that's what they said. It was the inner portion and the straightaway, where it led to the straightaway, and then you kind of go into the inner course.
The way they designed you getting into all the curves and turns that they do with these street cars versus the NASCARs, it's that's just the way they had to set it up like that. So it's very unfortunate, but I understand why initially the outer portion of the course was not designed for that at all.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad that somebody died. And
as we know, it's being demolished. The whole Richard Petty driving experience is going away. The track's being demolished, and they're going to put in some parking. And there's no one said if there's a direct link between someone's death or not, or it's just the fact that
they announced it before.
Yeah,
they just sped it up.
Yeah. So.
All right, our second news story. Disney settles discrimination lawsuit with former employee. Excuse me. A settlement has been reached in a lawsuit filed against Disney by a white housekeeping manager who said he was discriminated against because of his race, gender, and his use of the Family Medical Leave Act. Michael Smith filed a lawsuit in 2013 when he was a housekeeping manager at Coronado Springs Resort. Smith said that his supervisor, who was an African-American woman, quote, forced favored other black female employees over him and disliked the fact that he had taken medical leave to care for his ill wife. His lawsuit alleges that he was fired after complaining. The terms of the settlement were not disclosed, but the court records show that the judge did dismiss Smith's claim of discrimination. The judge did, however, allow the claim of retaliation under the Family Medical Leave Act. Interestingly, Smith's supervisor Maxine
I'm
Bell.
not actually supposed to say
I'm not
that.
supposed to say the punctuation. Oh, I've been reading wrong then all these years. Smith's supervisor, Maxine Bell, sued Disney for discrimination in 1997. In that suit, 4 black employees sued the company, but the case was dismissed for, quote, lack of prosecution, which means nothing was filed for a lengthy time.
Well, Disney would not have settled it. Well, they would not have settled it if there wasn't merit to the claim. And they just wouldn't have. They don't, because they don't want to set precedent with stuff like this. So, I don't know.
Well, if he has a clean record and they fired him after he used medical leave, it's kind of
Yeah.
a smoking gun, you know?
Well, assuming he has a clean record, who knows?
All of it's assumption.
Yeah.
If you look at that in a vacuum, it's what did he do? And it's a touchy subject in terms of the
The fact that they settled
race stuff.
tells me that he probably had a clean record.
And the fact that the judge dismissed the claim of discrimination but allowed the claim of retaliation means that whatever evidence he or she was presented with, was enough to say, yeah, this can go forward because, and whatever, once the judge says, yep, there's merit to this, because that's all that means. Judge doesn't say they're going to win but it says, okay, there's merit to the claim. It's worth looking at in a trial versus a discrimination suit, which the judge said, I don't see any merit to this.
And then the two sides then decide it's time to settle rather than take it to court.
Right. Well, I mean, again, Disney will take these things to court if they feel it's defensible and they were in the right. But I think the fact that they settled kind of says that they knew that there was some merit to it. So,
All right, and our third news story, shortcut to contemporary Polynesian hotels among Disney resort improvements are in the works. A flyover letting visitors to Magic Kingdom hotels bypass the parking toll plaza is among several new road improvements planned at Walt Disney World. A $350 million bond issued by Reedy Creek, the Disney-controlled taxing district, will provide funding. There's no set schedule for the improvements, but they are expected within the next 5 years. The projects will accommodate expected attendance growth at the resort, which is adding new attractions, including Star Wars and Toy Story themed lands at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The projects are, quote, in anticipation of increases from the studios and increases in general, a Disney spokesperson said. A flyover will take resort traffic over the Magic Kingdom's toll plaza, providing easier access to travelers heading to hotels such as the Contemporary and the Polynesian Village resorts, said John Class, a Reedy Creek deputy administrator. Right now, hotel visitors must drive through the parking plaza even though they don't have to pay. The road projects also include a reconfiguration of Osceola Parkway at Victory Way, southeast of Disney's Hollywood Studios and north of ESPN Wide World of Sports, an extension of Western Way at Avalon Road, and a Center Drive bypass to the west that will allow traffic heading south off Reams Road more direct access to Floridian Way. Residents on the Disney property, who are handpicked by the corporation to live there, voted last week on a referendum on the bond issue paying for the improvements. They voted 17-1 for approval.
get that one rebel.
Is that one guy?
Not
Michael
me.
Eisner.
Not in my backyard.
Reedy Creek is also making steady progress on improvements to the road network near downtown Disney. That's debatable. A ramp from eastbound Buena Vista Drive rising above the road and funneling drivers into the third story of a new parking garage should open September 8th. A half-mile spur extending off the westbound ramp leading from I-4 onto Epcot Center Drive should open in early October. Wow. Here's what I find weird, though. They're going to build this flyover. Why don't they just take that right lane?
Yeah.
That right lane already exists that you go through anyway to go to the resort.
Right now, all they use that for is the bus lane.
Yeah, that's the bus lane.
And
But there's a lane right
for
next
resort
to it.
traffic.
Doesn't making another lane in that seem less
Less
expensive?
work.
Yeah, and a lot less
yeah,
work.
I feel like they could have, when you go through a toll plaza, you have cash only, you have easy pass. They should have one that says,
Resort only.
hotel guests only or something like that.
And it sounds like that's what they're going to do now, because you'll just go over that instead of through it. It
Which
seems
is
like
expensive.
a waste of money.
Well, it's probably further back, so that way confused tourists will know
Yeah.
when to get on sooner, and then they'll probably still leave that other road there just in case they miss that first flyover.
I think the idea is to reduce congestion at that toll plaza
Yeah.
by, like as Craig is saying, it's going to be further back. So just keep that resort traffic as much as possible out from that toll plaza.
You're also never going to be able to park at the resorts anymore. Once they give immediate access to this,
Yeah.
they're going to have signs everywhere that you can't park there to go to the theme park.
Well, technically, you can't park there to go through these.
yeah, but more people are going to take that ramp and,
Oh, I made a mistake. I should have gone the other way.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm fine with all of this. I just, right now, I'm still flinching from the construction project at Downtown Disney and how that was handled. So when I hear they're going to be doing road work that is going to affect
The Magic Kingdom.
the Magic Kingdom and, hopefully not impact the current infrastructure that's there,
Right.
so that now, we're going to create even more traffic at that toll plaza, at the Magic Kingdom Plaza. I just get nervous. I'm going to, maybe foolishly, believe the best, that they're planning this out, that they learned something from how they handled Downtown
Yeah.
Disney, but it remains to be seen.
I'd also hate to yada, yada, yada through the sheer amount of things that you just mentioned in that news story. It's
A
not
lot.
just this Magic Kingdom thing. That's a lot of road work that is happening in every corner of the property over the next year. And
5 years.
5 years, sorry. And that's just a lot.
That
So-
means it's going to be messed up for 5 years.
Yeah.
Because they're going to put the cones up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do you think this flyover is going to be taller than the monorail?
I don't know. Maybe it'll
I don't know.
I think that would be weird, wouldn't it?
go right beside it. That'll
The
just-
monorail's
Just
going
low enough to
underneath
miss
the roadway.
birds.
What did you say, Corey?
Just low enough to miss birds. I hope it doesn't mess with the look of the toll plaza, because that's a beautiful thing. Like when you haven't been to Disney in a long time.
Yeah.
You go through that toll
That's a good
plaza
point.
and you get that photo. I just hope it's
Well,
not.
there's
gonna,
that land off to the right next to the monorail track that maybe they could somehow.
Yeah, I don't think the flyover is literally going to fly over that toll plaza.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a road that,
Probably goes under the monorail, swoops up to the right.
I don't think
around,
it's going to
comes
go
back
anywhere
under.
near the monorail.
either. I don't think there's enough room.
I
You've got to
think-
cross the monorail somewhere. If you're coming off that main road, you've got to cross the monorail to get, if you're going to go off to the side of that road. Because the monorail goes right alongside.
Yeah.
Unless they make it
into the contemporary. That monorail is going to the right side of the toll plaza, heading down toward the contemporary.
Yeah.
That's where that goes. I don't see the need for them, unless they're doing the flyover on that side, which I don't think they are. They're going to be doing it on the left side if you're facing the toll plaza.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
So I don't think and I think it's not going to go. I just don't imagine that. No, they can't put a structure under or over the monorail like that.
Because if it went to the left, that's kind of where Richard Petty is. that whole
Especially when you're talking about a roadway where, however rare, the possibility exists of a car losing control, going off the roadway and onto a monorail track. I mean, I
envision just there being a ramp like over where the toll plaza is.
No. They're gonna. They would never.
Yeah.
They would never. First of all, I
Be
think
ugly.
logistically it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a separate ramp off to the side that brings people to a roadway
say resort.
that gets you to the resorts, but you don't get access to
There's
the
plenty
Magic
of,
Kingdom parking, for example. So you
But
can't
the word
bypass parking.
flyover. They keep using the word flyover.
Well, because it's going to a flyover is
Raised.
anything coming off of
Raised, yeah.
raised ramp.
coming off. Yeah.
there goes
So-
that it's tough to be a bug thing.
Billboard. We should make Rhino go undercover as a construction worker and find out all these plans.
I
do
picture
have the
more of the
costume.
Indian. Is what I'm picturing more as.
That could be all 5. That's fine.
What?
What Indian?
From the village people. They said you can dress them as a construction worker. Nothing better than having to explain your jokes.
All right.
All right, that'll do it for the news.
Thank you, John. We're going to move on to rapid fire, and John, we'll start with you.
Excellent. I love going first. I don't know what that means. The company Bags Inc. that runs the current Magical Express luggage transfer system is considering making a something. They're going to do something that's going to be really great. They're working on a pick-up at home service where you can actually check in your luggage at home and have it show up at your resort. This is a ways away. They're just in the beginning talks of doing it, but apparently they've talked to TSA and worked out logistics of things like bag screening and stuff. So my question to you guys was, would you do this? Would you check your bags in at your house?
Yes.
And wait and trust that they'll arrive wherever you're going to go?
Less hassle.
I don't know.
Craig says no.
So this means if you live in Wisconsin, somebody who they're probably chartering out is coming to pick up your bags.
Correct.
From your house, take it to their local airport, put it on a plane, and then it'll show up in Florida and it'll be waiting.
Jimmy
for
Joe's
it.
going to throw it in the back of his pickup with the hunting dogs and the rifles. I don't know who lives
I
in
wouldn't want to be the
Wisconsin.
first, but I would
Well,
do
we've
it.
got a third party this stuff out because Bags Inc. is located in Orlando. It's a
There used to be a service that tried this that failed. They would come to your house and wrap up your suitcase in plastic. Especially when they first started with the bag fees on the airlines. This was going to be a much less expensive service. They tried this, and it was a huge failure. The logistics were just impossible.
According to this story, they employ thousands of people throughout the U.S. because one of the things they do in addition to Disney's Magical Express is they do cruise luggage transfers at different ports.
They're also the people that run the valet parking at the Orlando airport.
No, then they're
Oh, yeah,
trustworthy.
that is. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if I would do it.
This means no last minute packing. Oh, I forgot to stick this in my suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I
you do it.
think we
I would
need
do
to, if they are planning on doing it, I wouldn't want to be the beta test subject. I would want to see this happen to other
I also
people
want
first.
to know, how are they going to deal with overweight bags? There are several times where I need to pull out a pair of shoes and stick them in my carry-on to get it to where it needs to
They
be.
might weigh them before they put them in their car. They might have like a luggage
They're going to have to.
scale.
Because they're not going to take the risk of being liable
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
overweight bags.
Right.
So
Or they're going to take
Yeah, what's
credit card
this charge?
information and
Yeah.
charge you.
charge you if it's
And they're going to, how are they, they're going to,
I think it's an interesting concept. I'd like to see it play out before I would subscribe to it.
No, they're going to have to weigh the bags when they pick them up and have you sign something verifying that you see that this is the weight of the bag. Otherwise, people are going to say, no, that my bag, I weighed my bag and my bag was only 48 pounds and
Yeah.
you're saying it was 52 and you're charging me this money. No,
on the scale in their bathroom.
I don't know. This is not a business model I would want to.
and then also
Hang
there's
on.
that question at the airport. Have your bags been in your control?
That's another question I had. Who packed your bags? Where have they been? Have they been with you the whole
Yeah,
time?
yeah, exactly.
You couldn't do this internationally, for sure, right? I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know why not, as long as it
I
gets
would
on
just
the
sneak
plane.
your pets into Australia.
No. Interesting. All right, thank you, John. Kevin.
I don't spend a lot of time on the Disney Store website, but something came across my desk. They have a men's section called 28 in Maine, and 28 in Maine is the Disney theme park men's collection inspired by the year Mickey Mouse was born. He debuted. The logo is drawn from the coat of arms featuring the iconic Disney Park Castle and the lion reaching towards the stars, which symbolizes Walt's pursuit of his dreams. However, there are a couple of shirts and a couple of other items that are only available through Thursday, and they're kind of vintage looking. There's a couple of Tomorrowland shirts, and there's one specifically for the Carousel of Progress. The one that interested me is the top middle one. It's the Florida Project
Yeah.
shirt.
I think that's cool.
I do too. There's a sign down at the bottom. It's a wooden sign. I don't know if you want a wooden sign that says the Florida Project.
I would like that.
The T-shirts run $32.95, but they're only available through Thursday, and they only come up to extra large, small, medium, large, and extra large. But I thought they were kind of cool enough to share. I think a Carousel of Progress T-shirt, if you're a fan, that's kind of a cool thing
like
to have.
I like that Florida Project one.
Yeah.
I'll have
I do
to go
too. It's
online
got a
and get
real
that.
vintage look.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Through Thursday.
Dustin.
Okay, this is pretty rapid. Just a new development in the Food and Wine Festival for this year. FastPass Plus will be available for this year's Eat to the Beat concert series. Your reservations can be made on the My Disney Experience app or website, and they can make their reservations up to 60 days in advance. I'm sorry. That's hotel guests can do 60 days in advance. Everybody else can do 30 days in advance, and it's basically just a FastPass Plus for the concerts to guarantee your spot.
Is that going to be? Is that going to be like one of your 3?
I believe so. If
That's
it's in the
insane.
If it's in the FastPass Plus system, I would imagine, and there's no confirmation here, but I would imagine that would count as one of your options for the day.
Okay.
Interesting.
Test track or a dusty has-been from 1950.
Casey and the Sunshine.
Or
Premium.
Jefferson Starship, which has none of the original
Yeah.
numbers.
So,
Or the last remaining Beach Boy.
But it is an option instead of having to wait in line, because I'm not even sure that the Eat to the Beat series had a dining package or anything like that.
Is the Eat to the Beat one where the ones where actual people come, or is this the ones where they play like a Led Zeppelin album?
It's
no, this is, they have like,
Cover band.
they'll do like cover bands. Sometimes it'll be,
Like a Bon Jovi cover band.
The Flower Power series is pretty
That's-
much the same.
The people that you weren't sure were still alive.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be either of those
it's
things.
a little bit of both in each way. But hey, if you like it, you can make reservations now.
If they offer it as an additional FastPass, it'll be good.
That's still left to be seen.
Right, it's
So
still left to be seen.
we'll see.
Okay, thank you, Dustin.
You're welcome.
Corey.
All right, mine also has to do with Food and Wine Festival. They have 2 new packages. The 20th Festival Tasting Sampler. Guests will get a credential and a collectible pin that will allow you to have your choice of 8 tastes of food or beverages from the marketplaces. Priority seating at the Eat to the Beat concert. And the credential will also include ideas for pairing a food and drink from the marketplaces. This is $59.
Wait, before you go on, 8 food or drink?
Yeah, so you get 8 tickets, and you could spend that on food.
Any one
Or-
item at the kiosks.
Right. So, 8 tastes of
it's this
food or
credential.
beverages.
And it's got wine pairings on it. And
Well, I
tickets.
guess, if you want to use 4 and get like a pairing of food and a beverage from one marketplace, they'll kind of give
if
you
you spent your money wisely, you could maybe make.
get the most
How
expensive.
many?
Get the lobster
How
roll.
many times are there items at these kiosks that are $7 or more?
The lobster roll.
Lobster roll is always expensive, yeah.
that's
Okay,
up
so you're
there.
going to get 8 lobster rolls?
I definitely
You
would.
But
Some of the beers and wines can run you up there too. I mean, they can maybe not $7, but they're getting close.
no, I don't know.
I
I
think
don't.
the pin and the priority seating thing is what's going to give people.
Yeah, I think
to
this
do it.
and an
doesn't
8.5
pass the smell
by
test.
11 lanyard.
This is almost their. This is almost their way in getting into saying get a wristband for the food and wine.
Yeah, it's a tasting,
Yeah.
But then there's a food and wine premium package. You get VIP treatment from noon to 8 p.m. on Monday through Thursday at the festival. Package includes the use of 11 shaded premium package areas to relax, eat,
Oh,
and
so this is so that they're finally going to put places to sit,
You got to pay for it.
but you have to buy a VIP package. That's unbelievable.
but they're premium shaded.
Premium shaded.
And then, so you can relax there, eat and drink there, and
And
admission.
I'm sorry. You know what's going to happen? They're going to oversell these things, and then you're not going to be able to find a seat there either. You're going to like stand in the premium shaded
Or
area.
everybody that bought a ticket wants to sit in the one premium shaded area.
And it won't be tables; it'll be a bunch of bar
You know
stools
what?
around a trash can.
I'm sorry. Shame on you with the amount of people you bring in for food and wine, the amount of money you make on it, that you can't handle putting up some chairs and some tables to support that so that we're not eating on stinking trash cans. Because a lot of the crap you serve, we can't eat with one hand. We need to have a fork or a knife, or a fork and a knife, so we've got to put it down someplace to eat it.
And if you have a drink in your hand,
Forget about it.
And what Disney needs to do moving forward, if they want to do the premium shaded seating areas, they need to do that for a premium, but they also do need to provide those seating areas and those tables for everybody else. Don't do one or the other. And I hope that.
Oh, no,
they
no, 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 no.
provide-
There's,
Not gonna do it
there's
for
no
everybody.
chance. There's no chance. There is going to be tables and chairs for people that are willing to spend how much?
Well, I'll tell you once I read off everything off. But this is from Monday through Thursday. So I wonder what they're going to do on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I wonder with
There are
those.
no VIPs in the weekend.
platinum.
But what are they going to do with these
areas.
shaded areas?
Maybe open them to everybody.
employees with tasers.
Yeah. So, in addition to the shaded areas, you get admission to an illumination sparkling dessert party and admission to a festival center culinary demo or beverage seminar. The package also comes with a gift bag with a wine glass, a bottle of 20th Celebration Festival wine, a Food and Wine Fest themed magic band, and 4 food tickets for the marketplaces. And this is $199.
And how many items did you say? 11 items at the beginning? Or what was that?
It was 11 shaded areas, and
11
you get four food tickets.
Oh.
That's
gonna
less
lose.
food tickets than the other one.
I'm going to lose my mind.
Illuminations, dessert.
I'm gonna
I'm sorry,
lose my
this
mind.
is why the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, I pay one ticket, there's a place
Yeah,
to
you
sit.
know what? There was some great food at this, the Food and Wine Classic at the Swan and Dolphin. However, the fact that I could drink all the alcohol I wanted, but not soda, but I
That's true
had
at
to
Food and Wine
pay.
also. You don't get soda at the booth.
No,
But you have to pay for it just like you pay for everything else.
right. I'm saying that pay one price at the Swan and Dolphin Classic includes alcohol. It does not include soft drinks.
In my opinion, that's the big flaw.
And
the big flaw is they
that,
should give you drinks.
the fact that I had to pay, I think it was $3 because I don't drink, that I had to pay, that is the reason I won't ever go back.
Yeah.
When they change that policy, I'll go back because the food was fantastic. I will say the food was fantastic and the atmosphere is fantastic.
And how much is one of those tickets on average for the Food and Wine Classic compared
Is
to
it
this
$79?
Yeah, it's like $69,
versus
$79.
$200 we're talking about here?
And there was plenty of places to sit at the Swan Dolphin
yeah, a lot of
Classic.
places
Right,
say-
there's lots of places to sit. You don't have to eat on a garbage can.
No.
But do you get a commemorative wine glass?
You do.
You do.
And a commemorative plate.
You eat that little acrylic plate, not acrylic
And I
wine
don't
glass.
have to buy an admission ticket.
Yeah.
That's true as well.
So,
Corey, who knew yours is going to be so controversial?
So-
I know, really. I'm usually rapid.
well,
I can't wait for
that's-
Food and Wine anyway. so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to top it in a little while, but thank you, Corey. Rhino.
Okay, mine is about the Star Wars stuff. I know Kevin loves this, so it's the Force Friday event that is this Friday, September 4th. It's going to be, they're doing this isn't just at Disney. This is at like Targets and other stores too are doing this, but this is specific information for downtown Disney. At the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort, there's been awakening in the Force.
Have you felt it?
Have you felt it? Yeah, I did feel it because I watched that Instagram thing. New Star Wars themed merchandise and more will land in our galaxy at Disneyland and Walt Disney World Resorts on September 4th at 12:01 midnight. Set your hyperspace coordinates and come to this merchandise
Okay.
ticket event to gather supplies.
Copy.
I'm just reading the thing. So if you go to this event, it's like $50 a person. It's at Once Upon a Toy. For your $50, you get to get the Force Awakens like regular merchandise ahead of time, and then like park merchandise, and you get a bag.
Yeah, there's going to be some exclusive park merchandise available at this. I'm going to be there. I paid the $50.
Me
I
too.
will also be there.
Stop it. I'm excited about it. I actually am. I mean, there's going to be I think they said about 30 items that were going to be theme park exclusives that you'll be able to get that day. So that's the reason I said, okay, I'll pay the $50. And
What
plus
do you-
they're giving out some stuff.
What's the anticipation of these products going to be? What do you think they're going to have for sale?
It says licensed products including apparel, toys, pins, magic bands, vinyl and more. Purchase limits may apply as well.
What I think it is this is the first time in stores we're going to see merchandise from the new movie.
Correct.
So it'll be action figures, Legos, stuff like that. But then on the parks side of it, there'll be exclusive new Star Wars themed park related merchandise as
Yeah.
well.
So you're talking about normal stuff,
No, normal.
shirts and
But stuff
Yeah.
that hasn't come out yet.
Right.
And the reason why they're doing it here at Downtown Disney specifically as a paid event is because you're able to buy that park merchandise ahead of time.
Well, and also, like I said, they're giving away. I think they revealed yesterday it's going to be like this messenger bag, this Star Wars
Yeah.
Force Friday messenger bag, and stuff like
it's
that.
not very pretty.
But
But-
hopefully it's worth $50.
Just to add on to this, and I do have some Star Wars information.
Ooh.
Publix now has reusable Star Wars bags.
Really?
I bought
they're actually
one for
neat.
John
You
yesterday.
did. You got me a
I
Darth
bought
Vader
the
one.
Darth Vader one.
I always forget those bags.
Yeah, me
like the
too.
green reusable
Yeah.
tote bags.
I always forget.
Next time I go grocery shopping.
I saw two designs. One has Darth Vader on it, and the other one has Luke and Laura.
It's General Hospital. Yeah, it's not.
Not General Kenobi, General Hospital.
Once they have a final season of Downton Abbey event, I'm there.
Now I'm looking forward to it.
That's
I really
awesome.
am. I'm looking forward to it. So, all right, thank you, Rhino. Craig.
Okay, so PhotoPass is now available on your My Disney Experience app. You can preview your photos, purchase Memory Maker if you haven't done so already, and then once you have Memory Maker, then you can share and download your photos on there as soon as they come in the app. I don't know if it's instant or not because I don't have it, but and then you'll also be able to find all the locations of PhotoPass photographers if they're out where they're supposed to be.
My response to this is, I'm surprised they didn't have that on there already. You know, to have a PhotoPass link to the app. That's a surprise. But that's cool that they're going to have a location finder for the different PhotoPass photographers.
Yep.
It's
If it
kind
works.
of,
Get your photos with Luke and Laura. And,
yeah.
you know, all
That's
tied
right.
in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you,
I
Craig.
knew it was Star Wars crap.
Luke and Laura.
All right. Finally, we have the top 10 threads from disboards.com for the month of August. There's at least one in particular that I want to talk about. But number 10, just got back, observation made during Cinderella's royal table dining on the Disney Restaurants Forum by 2 Court Wart. Links to these are, by the way, are going to be on. I don't assign their names, so.
Right.
But there should be an approval process. I believe that's
Links to all of these are going to be on the show notes page, unplugged.com. Number 9, the 2015 Beach and Yacht Club FAQ on the Disney Resorts Forum, started by Nate Ben Ma. Number 8, a trip report that is starting to gain some traction, a la Jess. Within 24 hours, I left my job, my boyfriend, and life behind to go work at Walt Disney World in the Trip Reports Forum by Dream Like Walt. Number 7 is every trip planner's nightmare. My husband wants me to cut my budget by $1,500 for our trip on the budget board by Marshmallow.
That's a good name.
Number 6. I'm saving some time for number 6. Might get myself in a little trouble here.
Okay.
Has Disney dropped the magic ball on the Theme Parks Attraction and Strategies board by Drusilla, who goes on to talk about, among other things, some of the details that she once loved about Disney that she doesn't see anymore. I'm assuming it's a she. Forgive me if it's not. If you're not. We've talked about it on the show because one of the things she brings up are the bathrooms. We've talked about it. It's on the boards. I hear other people talk about it. Every time I bring up the topic of how disgusting some of the bathrooms in these theme parks are, I get inundated with messages and emails from people saying, oh yeah, we were just there and you couldn't believe the condition of this bathroom, or this is what I saw. So recently, Disney World started doing something that Disneyland has been doing for a while. They have opened up a Twitter account specifically to field questions and issues while you are in the parks. On Twitter, it is at WDW Today. Easy to remember, at WDW Today. So here's what I would like everyone to do. When you're in the parks, because this is the only thing that's going to work, folks. This is the only way it's going to change because it's been going on for too long. There's no excuse for these bathrooms to be as disgusting as they are in these parks. It is the very example of what we talk about, what I talk about when I talk about the legacy that has just been left behind. Because those of us who've been going long enough remember that there was a time that you could eat off the floors in a Disney theme park bathroom. How clean they were, how clean the parks were. Well, this has gone the way of the dodo bird. And every time we walk into a bathroom in one of these theme parks, we get to see it. So they have this Twitter account, at WDW Today. So here's what I want everyone to do. When you walk into one of these bathrooms, I want you to tweet that account and tell them where the bathroom is and what the condition is. But I want you to go one step further. God forgive me, take a picture and tweet the picture. Let's start putting pictures of this on the internet. And I guarantee you the issue stops tomorrow. When they start getting flooded with pictures on Twitter of what these bathrooms look like and how disgusting they are, they will clean them up fast. That's the only thing that's going to work because it's all over the boards. You're not going to tell me comments haven't been sent into guest services. You're not going to tell me people haven't talked about this in other places, because we're not the only ones. But you know what? Sometimes it's going to be up to the fans to effect change. And I think the only way to stop some of this stuff is to shame them into changing it. Because it's unacceptable. I see it too much. I see it myself personally. I hear about it too much on the boards. I hear about it too much from my friends about, the bathrooms are a disgrace. It's like they're only cleaned in the morning and then again at night when the park closes. Like nobody goes in to check these bathrooms.
Just don't tweet while you're using the bathroom. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
we
might
don't
drop
want-
your phone.
And I realize that may be a
heard.
little disgusting. And I accept that may be a little disgusting. But you know what? It's the only thing that's going to work. If those of us who love Disney World and want it to be great and want it to be what it's supposed to be, if those of us who want that do this, I guarantee you pictures start showing up online of filthy bathrooms in the Magic Kingdom. It's going to be fixed immediately.
Or the website will go away.
Or the Twitter account that shuts down.
Been a break.
One or the other. But I think that's what needs to happen because I just see this too much. So, at WDW today, tweet pictures. Let them know. They want the feedback, give them the feedback. And let's see what they do with it. Let's see if they start cleaning these damn bathrooms. And maybe that should be, until it happens, maybe that should be my sign off. Clean your damn bathrooms.
Give them the magic stick.
Number 5. Worst ride experience. I lost it on Mission Space on the theme parks board. This is actually a great thread. Personalized mouse started the thread. And it's not about, the rides being bad. It's about, she was talking about her daughter had decided she wanted to try Mission Space. Yeah. And she wanted to go with her daughter and against her better judgment. And, how extreme the ride was. And so that's what the thread is about. So it's not a complaint thread about the rides. It's about rides that made you sick.
After working at Mission Space, all I can do is recommend, if you're on the fence about it at all, do the green team mission before you do the orange team.
Well, I think she said she did do the green.
Oh,
and even
poor
that
thing.
was, because it's still, I've never been on it. So, but from my understanding, even there, you're still confined.
Look, if with green team, you have two issues. You have the claustrophobic issue.
Well, that's, I think, what was her issue.
And then if you cannot do something like Star Tours, that's still an issue.
Yeah, see, I can't, Star Tours is too rough on my stomach. Those motion simulators.
Mm-hmm. So those elements still exist even in the green team.
See, now I can be on a cruise ship in 30-foot swells and be fine.
It's a different motion.
But you
It's
put
a
me on
completely different motion.
Star Tours or something like
There's
that.
also something about being enclosed in that little area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Expected
And on
motion.
a ship, you're not sitting elbow to elbow with strangers.
Yeah.
Not having been in Epcot in quite a while, is Mission Space still as popular as it once was?
No.
Even when I was working there in 2007, what we would end up having on really busy days, other than like Christmas and Easter and stuff like that, we'd have like a walk-on for the green team, and then at most a 20-minute wait for the orange team on a normal
Is
day.
it time for that ride to go away?
Or be updated. Because there's really good technology there. And I think it has potential, but I do think it needs to be updated, if not replaced completely. You're right.
Oh, that's not going to happen. That's ride's not even 10 years old, is it? Yeah, no, it is. It's like 12 years. When was it?
I
Around
don't-
the 50th anniversary, wasn't that when all the astronauts were there?
So maybe.
So that would be about 10 years.
Maybe.
Yeah, I
I
think
doubt.
it was the
I don't
50th
see it being replaced. I can see it being updated.
It needs
but
to be
I don't see
I'm
it
going to
being
be honest with you. I've never been on it. I did a walkthrough. We were allowed to do a walkthrough of the ride where they showed us both sides of it. And the idea of getting in one of those little capsules, it's just not going to happen.
I always loved working there, and when I closed the capsules, hearing the banging, let me out, let me out. And
See, I was smart
having to
enough.
make the judgment call of,
Wow, that's a great attraction.
yeah.
Really,
It
I
opened
thought this-
2003.
What was it in 2003?
2003.
So, what?
12 years.
old. I always thought this ride had a limited appeal to begin with,
Yeah.
So,
at least to me.
all right. Number 4. I was really expecting this thread to be a lot. It would be our number 1 thread this year or this month, But on the DCL forum from Jay Carwash, DCL carry-on policy changing September 30th, talked about this, I believe it was last week, that Disney is changing their carry-on policy to be much more in line with
Alcohol
carry-on policy, to be much more in line with other cruise lines. But it has definitely brought about a backlash from Disney fans.
This is also the thread of how to get around the policy.
Yeah.
And people are very, very
It's easy.
smart. They come up with pretty clever ways
Yeah.
that I would never in a million
Put
years
vodka
come
in
up
your
with.
rubbing alcohol bottle.
Right, exactly.
It's
And
like
I think,
Listerine, and you put some dye in it and all that stuff.
oh my God, it's like too much
delicious.
work.
Now, so that is the number 4 thread. Number 3, it's another complaint thread, but it's a good one. Since when did becoming a jerk become a theme park strategy? on the theme park,
Written by Pete Werner.
Or anyone.
no, by Cersei 05 on the theme parks attractions and strategies board.
Of the House Lannister.
So yeah, that's another good thread. Basically talking about experiences people have had in the parks with other guests, and there's the other issue that common decency, and courtesy just seems to go out the window. I say this after I just encouraged everyone to tweet pictures of dirty bathrooms. But
However, that's not common courtesy to each other. I mean, that
Correct.
I find that it's all about me. And I don't know if everybody in the park feels that way or if they're just the ones that are so obnoxious that they stand out.
Right. I think that's more likely.
I do too. However, that's the thing that colors your impressions of things. I mean, so I can understand where people are upset. Because there are people who really do think the world is revolving around them. So,
oh no, yeah, I say it all the time. There's no, you're the only person in the world, aren't you?
right, you paid the most to get here. We
right.
all got in for free.
Exactly.
We're all invited guests. You paid.
Number 2 on the theme parks forum: has anyone tried an afternoon break in a resort lobby? By WDW Practical Princess. And the number 1 forum, I think this is the first time a post on the Rumors and News forum made the number 1 spot, and it did by a wide margin, by Little Dreamer. Fears about the Hollywood studios announcement.
No surprise that that's.
And I think that
a hot
everybody is concerned about what that's all going to look like. But I think as we talked about, the locations where they're going to be doing these expansions do give Disney the opportunity to kind of hide the construction to a large measure, not completely. I don't think it's going to be like California Adventure, where we're like navigating like construction walls
I think
And
it's.
jackhammers.
and jackhammers. Well,
I
I think the jackhammers go without saying, but I think it's not going to be quite as bad.
But I think it's interesting that the number 1 thread on the Diz boards is framed, instead of saying our excitement about the Hollywood Studios announcement, it's our fears about it. And that kind of tells you the state of people's psyche thinking about Disney and construction projects and stuff like.
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
I mean, come on,
You know?
it's
Well, I got to be honest with you. Think about
bordering
it.
on abusive.
There's going to be Star Wars Land. There's going to be Toy Story Land. There's going to be Avatar. There's going to be a flyover, which we don't know what that looks like. So there's going to be road work too. I would see this as what's there going to why
At
would you
what-
go to Hollywood Studios?
At
Everything's
what
gonna be closed.
point? At what point does popular opinion beyond the fan community? At what point does popular opinion? At what point do we hear comedians joking about construction at Walt Disney World? When does it become popular opinion that if you go to Disney World, everything's under construction? Because there's been so much construction for so long. I wonder where that tipping point is.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, in terms of like comedians and stuff like that, in terms of the zeitgeist of pop culture, I don't know that Disney World is in the forefront of people's minds. But I see what you're saying. When does it become synonymous? When does Walt Disney World become synonymous with?
Right. When does it get out into the popular culture beyond the fan community? This morning I was listening. One of my favorite comedy bits, and this is not for you to listen to with your kids, is by a comedian who unfortunately passed away recently. His name is John Panette, who did a bit about doing a family reunion at Disney World, and it's hilarious.
One of the funniest things I've ever heard.
It is hilarious. Again, this is not suitable for work, and it's not suitable for your kids. There's some language in there, but that being said, hilarious. And it's about those things that are in Disney World in August, the lines, blah 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 blah. Those things that are part of popular mythology, where Disney is concerned, I wonder at what point Disney runs the risk of construction being there in August and waiting on long lines and having to deal with construction.
Yeah.
When does that become the third bullet point in that commentary?
You know what's actually, I think, reached that first is the whole idea of planning, the My Disney Experience.
Yeah.
There's a fluff piece, I think it's in the New York Times, I'm going to try to find it and forward it to you, where a guy has written a piece about how he's looking forward to taking his child, his 5-year-old, to Walt Disney World. However, it's like he needs an IT degree to figure out how to plan and book this stuff. He booked too late to get her into a princess meet and greet, and she's upset about that, and she can't get the dining that he wants, and he has to figure out where he wants to be every day and what rides he wants to go on. That's already made it out into the culture.
I read one where it said, when does it become too difficult to go to Disney World?
Yeah. I mean, these are all narratives that are out there. But that is our top 10 threads on disboards.com for the month of August. And that will do it for this episode of our show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And Disney, clean your damn bathrooms.